The Mystery of Antarctica. It was the year 2027, and a research expedition set out to uncover the hidden secrets beneath the icy, desolate expanse of Antarctica. A team of scientists, each a leading expert in their respective fields, boarded the Iskander, a state-of-the-art icebreaker ship equipped with the latest technology to explore the uncharted depths of the frozen continent. Their mission was simple: to study ancient glaciers, collect soil samples, and investigate peculiar electromagnetic disturbances detected by satellites. The ship had barely docked at the shore when the first strange occurrence happened. As the crew disembarked, they noticed something unusual in the distance. Massive, jagged rock formations that did not match the typical icy landscape. These rocks seemed to pulse with an unnatural energy, almost as if they were alive. Despite the eerie sight, the team continued with their tasks, eager to uncover the scientific marvels that awaited them. Dr. Evelyn Hart, the expedition's lead scientist, was the first to notice the odd signals coming from a deep chasm beneath the ice. The readings on her equipment spiked beyond anything she had ever seen, with patterns that seemed to defy the laws of physics. Curious, she set out with a small team to investigate the source. As they ventured deeper into the icy cavern, the atmosphere grew increasingly suffocating. The temperature dropped to dangerous levels, and an oppressive silence surrounded them. No wind, no wildlife, just the endless haunting hum of the wind around the ice. After hours of traversing the dark, frozen tunnels, they stumbled upon an ancient structure buried deep within the ice. It was a vast, circular chamber, unlike anything that could have been built by humans. The walls were adorned with strange symbols, and in the center of the room lay a stone altar covered in intricate carvings. The structure appeared to be millions of years old, far older than any civilization on Earth. Dr. Hart's curiosity grew, but so did an unsettling feeling in the pit of her stomach. Something about the place felt wrong. She couldn't shake the feeling that they weren't supposed to be there. As she examined the altar, the team's communications equipment suddenly malfunctioned. Static filled their radios, and their lights flickered. A cold dread washed over them. Dr. Hart tried to reach the surface, but something seemed to be pulling them deeper into the chamber, as if the ice itself had a mind of its own. Suddenly, the ground beneath them cracked, and an immense rumble echoed through the chamber. The team scrambled to escape, but the chasm they had entered began to collapse, trapping them inside. They barely made it out, but as they emerged from the cavern, the world above seemed different, hollow, distorted. The researchers rushed back to the ship, their minds clouded with fear and confusion. The icebreaker was still docked, but something was off. The ship's crew was nowhere to be found. The lights flickered, and the air was thick with an unsettling cold. Dr. Hart's heart raced as she realized the crew had vanished without a trace. As night descended, strange phenomena began to occur. Shadows seemed to move on their own, creeping along the walls of the ship. The temperature plummeted again, this time even colder than the depths of the cavern. Dr. Hart and her remaining team huddled together, unable to explain the unexplainable. Hours passed, and then the whispers began. They started faintly. At first, it seemed like wind brushing against the ship's hull, but then the whispers grew clearer, forming words in an ancient language none of them could understand. The voices were calling them, drawing them in. Unable to resist, Dr. Hart ventured into the ship's depths. There, she found something that chilled her to the bone. The missing crew members had not disappeared. They had been transformed. Their bodies were twisted and distorted, their eyes wide open in an expression of sheer terror. But they were not dead. They were changed. as if they had been possessed by some otherworldly force that had waited eons beneath the ice. The whispers grew louder, now urgent, as though they were beckoning Dr. Hart and her team toward the heart of the ship. It was as if the ship itself was alive, a vessel built to house an ancient, malevolent entity, and it was calling for its next host. Terrified, Dr. Hart rushed to the control room, but when she entered, she found the captain, her old friend, Captain Mark Avery, standing motionless in front of the navigation system. His eyes were hollow, his mouth agape in a silent scream, his body standing rigid as though it were being controlled by some unseen force. "You should have left," a voice echoed in her mind. The voice wasn't human. It was ancient, cold, and suffused with an unimaginable power. It was as if the very earth beneath Antarctica was alive, waiting for them, watching them, and now it wanted them. The ship's radio crackled again. It wasn't a message from the surface. It was a warning, transmitted from another time, another world. The voices of previous expeditions, disappeared and forgotten, warned her of the same fate. The ancient being beneath the ice had been waiting for centuries, locked away in the depths, and it had found a way to draw people into its grasp. Dr. Hart realized the truth. The ice was not just a frozen wasteland. It was a prison that had contained an unimaginable horror, an entity that was not of this earth. The structure they had discovered was not a remnant of an ancient civilization. It was a tomb, a vessel that had imprisoned the thing for millennia. As the last of the remaining crew members succumbed to the whispers, their bodies contorted and their eyes hollowed, Dr. Hart made a final decision. She activated the ship's self-destruct sequence, determined to end the nightmare. But before she could escape, she heard the final, chilling whisper, "You will never leave." The explosion that followed was heard for miles, but the mystery of Antarctica remained unsolved. No traces of the Iskander were ever found. The continent's frozen expanse swallowed the ship and its crew, as if it had never existed at all. Years later, scientists studying the region would report strange, inexplicable phenomena. Electronic equipment malfunctioning, unexplainable shifts in the ice, and peculiar electromagnetic anomalies. Some say the entity beneath the ice is still there, waiting. Others say it has spread, its influence reaching out to claim any who dare to uncover its secrets. But the truth is, no one really knows, because Antarctica remains a place of silence, of hidden horrors, and a mystery that the world may never fully comprehend.